Pentru prima oară, în orașul nostru, a fost introdus acest format public forum și trebuie să spun că este meritul lui Teddy Ganea, aici de față, care împreună cu familia s-au gândit care ar fi cel mai bun loc, cel mai bun potrivit oraș pentru a introduce formatul acesta. Au ales Constanța, este meritul lor în primul rând. Este și meritul unei foste colege, șefa de promoție de anul acesta, Lina Lascu, prin intermediul căreia s-a ajuns în Colegiul Mircea. În felul acesta am aflat și eu despre acest format și despre acest proiect acum un an de zile. L-am cunoscut pe Teddy, am cunoscut familia, în moment în care s-a pus problema să pornim un proiect mai mare la nivel național, lucru care s-a realizat astă vară. Așa încât, pentru prima oară în România, în mod plăcut pentru noi, Public Forum s-a învățat și s-a jucat în Colegiul Mircea. Asta trebuie să fie pentru noi o motivație în plus ca să promovăm și să cultivăm acest format. Am descoperit, mulți dintre voi au jucat, echipele cele două au participat la proiectul de astă vară, au văzut cât este de interesant, de interactiv, chiar dacă cunosc și formatul Old Schools și pot compara acum cele două formate, au văzut că fiecare are specificul lui și că Public Forum are ceva deosebit. Așa încât pentru cei care au intrat, cărora le mulțumesc că au venit să vadă meciul, le spunem că de anul acesta dezvoltăm și o secțiune de Public Forum în Colegiul Mircea, împreună cu cei care deja știu, cu cei 4 și cu alți 4 care au participat la proiect. Vom organiza cursuri prin care noi elevi vor învăța despre ce e vorba. Veți afla despre temele care vor fi dezbătute de-a lungul unui an de zile, despre competițiile la care veți putea participa. Eu vă încurajez din toată inima. Public Forum a intrat în România pe ușa din față, prin oameni care știu despre ce este vorba, care sunt pasionați de asta, pe care i-am cunoscut în ultimul an de zile și elevii noștri, cei 8 care au participat astă vară, i-au cunoscut în vară la cursul de formare, oameni deosebiți, oameni cu experiență, cu studii la universități cu totul deosebite, profesori care fac asta de multă vreme și știu care sunt beneficii. Bun. Gata. Mulțumesc.
Thank you. I would just like to add, first of all, thank you, Professor Mindirigiu, for all of the words that you have said. I'd like to say that one of the reasons why we chose Constanța and Liceul Mircea to start Public Forum in is because we knew that the people of Constanța would take this very seriously, and we knew that were we to introduce Public Forum in Constanța at Liceul Mircea, it would be in good hands. And as you can see, that is clearly the case. A lot of the people who are going to be debating in this match have actually been debating since the pilot program, and all of them are extremely committed to Public Forum debate. They went to the Nationals tournament and they performed exceedingly well. And so I think this is going to be a really great demonstrative match. So what's going to happen is we're going to start this with a coin flip. And then we will go speech by speech through the Public Forum debate round. The debaters will debate and do their thing. And before each speech, I'll give a very brief explanation of how long the speech is and what the speech is about. All right. So the topic for today is going to be resolved on balance online school benefits students. Let us now do the coin flip. All right, so I'd like I'm going to flip this coin again, and I'd like one of the 4 contestants to try to guess whether the coin is going to be heads or tails.
Tails.
All right, let us flip. It is tails. So the team of Diana and Ellen has won the coin flip. Now you may choose either the side, pro or con, or the speaking order, to speak first or second. So what is your choice?
We choose to speak the second.
All right. So Ellen and Diana will speak second. Now, this means that Monica and Emre will be speaking first. Monica and Emre now have the chance to choose the side. So would you rather debate pro or con? For Monica and Emre.
We wanna be pro team.
All right. Perfect. So the teams are as follows. Diana Savopol and Ellen Lascu are going to be the second speaking con team. So they will be debating against online school and they will speak second. Meanwhile, Monica and Emre are going to be the first speaking team and will be debating for the pro online school side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to begin the round proper. And so the first speech of the public forum round is the constructive speech. It's a 4-minute speech where each of the teams will present their opening arguments. So whenever you're ready, Monica and Emre, you may begin the constructive.
Okay, so I missed the part. What's happening? Sorry.
So you're the first speaking team on the pro side.
Okay. Fine. Let me just prepare. A few seconds, please. Okay, so I will begin in 3, 2, 1, and start. The topic is results. On balance, online schooling benefits students. We are debating on the pro side. Now I'm gonna start my speech. Our first contention is increasing productivity. Online schooling increases productivity in 2 main ways. First, through non-linear learning. In online schooling, the teaching material doesn't have to be linear. According to a study from the 2007 annual virtual school symposium, the 2 courses with the highest enrollment of online students were Algebra 1 and 2. These are usually taken in the first year of high school, and many online students are taking the course for the second or third time. This approach is essential to students at risk of failing or dropping out of school. As a result, International Journal of E-Learning and Distance Education finds that online coursework leads to increased self-efficacy in students. Second, you don't need to stay at school for 7 to 8 hours per day, because most of the curriculum of online classes is taught in 4 to 5 hours. A study published by Barber in 2010 found that over a 5-year period with more than 2,100 cases, online students performed as well as classroom-based students on final tests, proving that even if less time is used for online schools, students don't learn less. As a result, online schooling allows you to use the extra time. We don't say that this will always be used for productive activities, but if you don't have the hours at all, there is no chance for productive use to happen. The impact is improving the quality of life. More educated people have better lives. Online schooling gives students the free time to relax, protecting their mental health, and it gets rid of the stigma that comes with retaking courses, thus encouraging kids who are at risk of dropping out to learn. Our second contention is about the accessibility of online schooling. Online schooling offers alternatives for students who need more resources. Firstly, according to recent rankings conducted by Best Value Schools, online schooling is very affordable. A study conducted by American Economic Association, published in 2015, found that colleges with a higher share of online students charge lower tuition prices. For schools specialized in online degrees, there are fewer expenses. They usually do not have a lot of land, buildings to manage, and staff members to pay. This way, online schooling benefits financially. Students who come from low-income families can afford to follow useful courses. Also, there are students with health problems that can benefit from e-learning because it doesn't require person-to-person contact. Take immunocompromised children. They have significantly more absence than the average student because the academic environment cannot protect them from germs. A WHO study suggests that 6 million students worldwide are living with a primary immunodeficiency disease. There are also secondary immunodeficiencies, types of cancers, and transplant patients who have to suppress their immune system. All of these double the numbers we have shown you. Therefore, there are at least 12 million sick kids who either A, are going to a normal school and risk their health and life for education, or B, have to give up their education to maintain their safety. Online schooling is beneficial for this category of students because it saves their education and their health by reducing the exposure to germs. Our impact is about saving lives. Online schooling allows students who need special aid, such as financial or health related, to still get an education that will allow them to get a job and be independent in the future, thus improving their quality of life now and later. Therefore, a vote for Pro is a vote to save the lives of our children and our future. Thank you, and I invite you to vote as you choose.
All right. Thank you. And now let us hear what the con has to say for their constructive speech.
Okay, so I will start in 3, 2, 1, and we as students would be the first to admit that we currently have several problems with the system. But is online school the reform we actually need? Today we're going to prove that online schooling is nothing more than a system that will dispose of even the bare minimum that the traditional school offered. There are two contentions. We're going to explain how online school will not allow children to develop neither educationally nor socially. Firstly, let's talk about the education part. When in a physical classroom, whether you like it or not, you have to pay attention, take notes, and overall be mentally present. But in online school, all these things disappear since your computer acts as a shield. You can pretend your camera or mic isn't working and can just browse through social media or have a game open in the background. All of these are distracting kids from the lesson and from actually identifying its most difficult aspects, which prevent them from having any questions at the end, which would have helped them understand better and leave the class with an already formed basis of knowledge they could consolidate at home. About 30% of students indicate that they are bored due to the lack of interaction with teachers. So cutting this interaction is the last thing we should do if you want to keep children's interest. In contrast, physical school is a place where even the most boring classes can teach you something like organizing your notes or having a cleaner thought process, which is necessary when you actually have to memorize or understand all of that information, not just to copy and paste it from a Google onto the test sheets, like many would be tempted to do in online school. With all that in mind, we have shown that online school fails to teach both the subject themselves and the thought process necessary for their future jobs and studies. Now let's move to the social aspect. As we all know, contact with one's peers is essential in a child's formative year, as it will affect their character on the long run. In traditional school, a potential friend awaits you at every step you make, from the deskmates, the people you sit with during breaks, to the people you meet via school clubs or because you take the same bus together. Psychologist Susan Pinker states that direct person-to-person contact triggers the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin, which greatly decreases the risk of stress and anxiety. Medical News Today also writes that socializing boosts memory and prevents the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Thus, we see the direct advantages that social interaction has on both mental and health and the school results, both in the present and future. Online school, however, will deprive kids of all these opportunities to make friends that could even last a lifetime or to preserve their mental health. Since kids will see their classmates as only square boxes on their screen, not as real people that might actually want to talk to them, they won't feel encouraged to reach out to these people. As a result, they won't have that many friends, if any at all, and this will make them feel lonely, sad, and even depressed whenever they see others having fun on social media. When confronted with a situation that requires communication, the kids will feel lost and anxious and they will know very little about various social contexts and their rules. Things most learn in school by interacting with classmates, teachers, and school staff. Moreover, their struggles will only get worse as they will get older, because they will lack social skills which are needed in a work environment, as well as making personal relationships. In conclusion, online schooling is depriving children of this essential part of their lives, which negatively affects them at the moment and for the rest of their lives. At the end of the day, we can safely say that we have proven how online school can in no way, shape, or form replicate the unique experience, the traditional one, which benefits students from multiple points of view that are all equally important to in their adult life.
Okay, thank you. So first, I might have forgotten to mention that I am judging this round, and as a judge, I will be taking notes. So now we're going to go to the crossfire, in which the first speakers, so the two people who just spoke, are going to get to ask each other questions and alternate for 3 minutes. So whenever you're ready, you can begin.
I'm ready.
We can start. Okay.
All right. Pro gets the first question.
Okay, so I'll put my first question. You talked about lack of interaction and paying attention. So you talked about online schooling as it must be enforced for students to apply, but we are not forcing children to study in just one system. Why do you consider that as being enforced?
I never said that online schooling forces or whatever you're trying to say. I'm saying that when kids take online classes, it's way easier to fake paying attention. And in traditional school, it's all this shield that the computer creates is gone, because you are physical face to face with the teacher and you have to pay attention. Do you have another question?
I want to explain something. We are talking about other aspects and other types of children, like the poor and sick students who can't afford something like traditional schooling because they can get sick because of the germs in a school. Why do you not consider that as being a valid point?
Okay, this group of people that you're talking about is we do not disconsider them, but we have to acknowledge that they are a smaller part of the majority of the students. And when we think of the students, we think about at most of them. And the school could improve some of their aspects. As I said at the beginning, yes, the school has some problem, but online school is not the reform that we should lean to. Also, I want to ask you a question. How you said that the students will be will have more their productivity will be increased, and that they will have more free time. Why do you think that their free time that they're getting is such a good thing in comparison to the socializing aspect that we have?
Because we basically showed a study from 2007, which says that the free time used by the students who are taking part in the e-learning system is used productively, and essentially the students can study more in that free time, not necessarily doing bad things and having bad habits. That's a study.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't have much time. Yeah. So we shall conclude.
All right. So that was the first crossfire, where you got to see Emre and Ellen spar and ask each other questions on the issue of online schooling. Now we're going to move to the second major speech of the public forum debate. This is the rebuttal speech. It will last 4 minutes. And in the rebuttal speech, The second speakers of each team, so the people who haven't spoken yet, are going to try to disprove their opponents and to explain why their opponents are false and why even if the opponents are saying true stuff, those stuff are less important in the round. All right. So, Monica, whenever you're ready, you may begin.
Yes, let me just start my timer. Okay, so I may start now. You can start your timer too. I'm gonna start by addressing the first contention, which talks about education, and then I'm gonna move to the social part. So let's talk about education. They say that you will not be mentally present to an online school because it's easier to fake the fact that you are paying attention in class. But this is not true for two main reasons. First, we've shown that kids have the same results. That means that even though kids may seem that they are not paying attention in class, they are actually learning. And second of all, the most classes which are took in online school are algebra 1 and 2, which are taken for the second or third time. This means that kids actually see where they lack knowledge and they seek those knowledge. So they are actually paying more attention in online classes, understand what they are missing, and try to repair these mistakes. So online schooling is actually better for their attention. They said that you can organize your notes better in a traditional school. And first of all, we're not comparing online schooling to traditional school. But even if we are comparing it, actually online schooling takes a lot more energy to organize your notes because you have to have all your notes, which are from one place, and write them down without having the problem with time management in class. So you can learn those notes, which you already have in a virtual way, and learn them in your own way and organize it in your own way. Not necessarily how the teachers tell you in class. So it's actually better for you and you learn a lot more how to organize your notes in a good way, which fits you and not the teaching style. Let's talk now about their social argument. They say that you cannot make friends in online school because there are only some squares on the screen. Well, this is not actually true because first of all, you have more free time, which means that you can choose the kids you want to socialize with. In a normal school, you're obligated to socialize with kids that you cannot necessarily be good friends. For example, the problem of bullying. So you can avoid the bullying while choosing your friends and spending time with them outside school, doing what you want to do. They also said that the fact that they're socializing is good for their mental health. And this is true, but also you can socialize in online school because you can help one another with homework. You're not actually doing only online classes together. You can still contact each other. And you can also meet people from all around the globe, and you can use English as the main language if you have a problem with the language. But you can actually meet other people, understand their point of view and how they see the world around them. And this is better for you because you are now a more educated person, which knows a lot about other cultures. So you are actually more social active, not less social active. But the most important thing is that because online school exists, kids can choose online school or not. You're not obligated to take just online school. You can take online school for 1 year, 2 years, or 4 years if you want. Thank you. My time is up.
All right, thank you. Monica, I'm gonna ask, since you're Wi-Fi seemed to go out at some points. If either A, you could move somewhere, or B, you could turn off the video so that there are fewer interruptions.
Okay.
All right. So now let us go to the con rebuttal. So Diana, whenever you're ready.
Yes, let me set my timer. Give me 1 second to organize my thoughts.
Oh, by the way, each team in the debate round will be getting 3 minutes of prep time. And so if you'd like to take prep time now, you may.
No, it's okay. I can start. I'm starting in 3, 2, 1. At the beginning, I will address 2 issues with their case and their approach, and then I'll move to 3 rebuttal points on both Monica's speech and Emre's speech. So firstly, about the topic says benefit students, and the only reasonable way to interpret it is by all students or most students, or I don't know, any given student. But when they only show us studies done on a really small the really small percentage of students who currently take online school, we do not believe that those studies are relevant. They didn't tell us that they were during the pandemic or anything like that, so we cannot say that everyone was involved. So the tested material was too little. Secondly, one major issue with their case is that the only thing they're offering is a chance, while we offer certainty. You cannot cheat in online school. You'll have to learn. You will see these people and they'll want to talk to you, so you'll develop these skills. Now we're moving to the rebuttal and about why it's inefficient, why online school would be inefficient for the average student, but also for these disadvantaged people they want to help. Firstly, let's talk about productivity. And we say, and they say that yes, we have more time, and yet we agree, we don't have to commute and all this stuff, but we believe that that time won't be used, definitely won't be used for learning, except for some really isolated cases that would have learned anyway in their spare time, and so it doesn't matter for these gifted students. Secondly, we think that also if free time activities are important to some degree, we guarantee to you that most kids won't invest their time in hobbies or things that develop them personally. They will scroll to Instagram and play video games, things that would even stress them if not relax them, like all the negativity on the internet and so on. So we don't think that it's really that good of a thing. Secondly, on accessibility. Firstly, we explain to you why online school is harmful to the this big percent of students. Both Ellen and now I will explain to you how online school, due to not being able, due to not having to learn, you will be tempted to cheat, and after all you won't be left with nothing. Also, you won't pay attention to classes. So this is for all, but also for that small percent, they can just as well be affected. Who can guarantee that these kids, given that yes, they were given the equal chance, but they're not only given the equal chance to learn, they're given the equal chance to cheat and to lose their time. So they will face these same problems. Now to rebuild my argument on the social skills. They say you can choose with whom you want to socialize during online school, but we don't. That again, Ellen explained to you very well how kids won't have this incentive. They would barely register as people when they will sit like we sit right now with their cameras closed, because most kids aren't okay with showing their faces unless the teachers force them. Secondly, they had a point about chatting with strangers and from other countries. You have internet, you have social media for it. School is strictly for school and for its other duties, like forming kids, because you cannot say school helps me, develops me as a person by having that minimum text message interaction with some stranger. Thirdly, I want a point I'm really that wasn't announced on the first speech, and this wasn't even developed, was the point about bullying. So I won't talk about it unless they bring it up again. We don't understand why bullying, how bullying disappears in online school, and even if it does, I'll explain to you why this is a bad thing. Thank you, and please vote on.
All right, great. So, great. Now we're going to do our second crossfire. So the two people who just spoke, Monica and Diana, are going to get to ask each other questions and spar with each other for 3 minutes. Just like happened before, we're doing it again. So Diana and Monica, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready if Monica's as well.
Yes. Monica? Monica, could you please?
Sorry. I thought I started. Sorry.
Perfect.
So let me just restart. Okay. So are you aware of the fact that in online school you don't have physical contact with the other people, therefore you don't have physical bullying?
Okay, you might not have physical bullying, but think about this bullies. Bullies stems from family issues and such things, yeah? So when you just delay the bullying, up when kids will be old, too old to be changed for their behaviors to be changed. So we are just delaying this bullying and harassment. We will release them into a society. Because in school, in physical school, these bullies get identified and corrected by teachers and bully prevention programs. They see this is a punishable trait, so they will stop, some of them, of course, but we save more kids this way. Can I ask a question? How
can you support that, given the fact that we are actually taking measures against bullying, but the problem of bullying is not resolved? We're already taking actions, but we're not seeing any solution. And another thing I want to ask you, what are you offering? You said that you are offering a certain thing, but you're not offering anything. You are depending on the fact that online school benefits students or not. You're not offering a better school.
No, we're offering like a school that, although it has flaws, it doesn't have as many flaws as online school. We cannot have a perfect world, so at least we can choose the better one.
Your job is not to support traditional school, is to prove us that online school is not good. You're not offering anything.
Yes, online school is bad because it doesn't even offer those bare minimum things that physical school currently offers.
But it does.
Now, can I ask a question?
Yes.
How do you propose to take tests and exams when cheating will be so easy?
No, actually, this is a false thing that people think about online schooling. We have a study, let me just read it. We have a study from the Online Journal of Business Learning and Administration, which is the biggest journal that studies the online learning, that found that online students are not more likely to cheat than their traditional counterparts. The expectation that online students are likelier to cheat doesn't necessarily hold up to the reality. The study found that the students enrolled in online classes were actually less likely to cheat than those enrolled in traditional on-campus courses. Results suggest that the amount of academic misconduct among online students may not be as prevalent as believed. This is a false claim made by people who are not actually reading about online schooling. So even though it may seem that online schooling encourages cheating, it actually doesn't. It prevents cheating. Given by our study, we have an actual study.
Okay, you have this study, but we still have the risk of people cheating. So when
yes, we have the risk of people cheating all the time.
No, because when a teacher is watching you, you have less chances of cheating because you'll get caught, you'll be humiliated in the front of class and so on. So, okay.
Yes, but our study shows that even if, let's say, it's not as strict, cheating isn't.
All right, that's time. Okay, so there were a lot of interesting points made in this crossfire. One thing so now we're going to enter into the summary. The summary speech is a 3-minute speech in which the people who presented the constructive speech, so the first speakers, are going to come back again, and they're going to summarize the round for us and going to tell us, the spectators, the audience, and the judge, they're going to tell us why their side is more true and why their side has a bigger impact on the world, why it's more beneficial for the world to vote for or to vote against online school. Now, 2 points I'd like to make is that, first of all, both teams have 3 minutes of prep time that they can use whenever they want in the debate round. And personally, I highly recommend you use prep time before summary to make your strategies. Second of all, both teams brought up great points in Crossfire, and those points should be repeated in these big speeches so that the judge is absolutely sure to have them down. So with that said, Emre, whenever you're ready, you can start. And again, I highly recommend you take prep time.
I will take
Yes,
some prep
you want
time,
prep time.
around 2 minutes or 1.5.
Okay, I'll run the clock. It's been 1:30. Should I keep giving time? All right, it's been 2 minutes so far.
Okay, 10 more seconds so we can finish.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry for that. My internet is just bad.
Well, that's debating in the age of coronavirus.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I would like to start my summary speech now, if I can.
Sure. Oh, by the way, since you had technical issues, we'll just call it 2 minutes of prep time.
Sorry, I don't hear you very well.
Yeah, I was going to say that I stopped the prep time at 2
Okay.
minutes because then afterwards you got out and came back. So I gave you like 30 seconds.
Okay. Okay. Now I'll begin. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so I want to underline some very good points which were brought in this debate, and I will start with the preposition team, in which I will state 5 points which were brought in the 2 speeches. These are the productive time that online schooling provides and the more free time that online schooling provides. This is improving quality of life, the 3rd point, and brings more alternatives besides the traditional schooling. And the 5th point is that it saves lives. So I will talk about the more chances that students have in online schooling. For example, there are several students throughout the world who want to practice extracurricular activities such as sports, who want to study more, and the traditional schooling with its 7-hour system, for example, doesn't allow that for much for the students. Now, the con team said that the numbers regarding the sick students and the poor students are very insignificant, and it represents a small minority in the big majority. This is a false claim. I stated in the study that the World Health Organization showed that around 6 to 12 million students suffer of diseases and poor situations. So this is not a small number. Of course, it was talked about the likelihood of cheating, and my colleague said that in the study of online journal of distance learning and administration, it explained why this is a stereotype, and the likelihood of cheating in online schooling is approximately the same as the one in traditional schools. If the con team wants to bring a perfect system in which every bad aspect of school is vanished, then they should not debate on this topic, which states that on balance, online schooling benefits students. We brought studies. We showed why the online schooling, where is applied, it is successful for students, and thus the advantages outnumber the disadvantages. The team just come and denied everything without bringing a substantial evidence, and disregarded these studies, which are very good and done on several aspects and on different people. We have the studies, they don't have. Where is the evidence? Please show me. So in conclusion, we have everything in standing. They didn't manage to demolish our points and arguments, and therefore I consider that our team won, and we invite you to vote. Thank you.
All right. And now the con first speaker, so I believe Ellen, is going to give her 3-minute summary.
Okay, so I will start in 3, 2, 1, and. So in my resume, I will talk about the 2 discussions that we've had in this debate, the one non-discussion, and also talk about their studies. First of all, the 2 main points that I have seen that there were some interest topic discussions were the productivity and the cheating. This is one, and the affordable part. First of all, about the cheating part, we said, and I will explain a bit clearer now, that the fact that the computer is a shield, and even though their studies may say this, they didn't say in what year these studies were made or for how long these studies have been going on. On the internet, you find lots of tricks and tips and tricks about how to cheat easier or how to make it look like you're paying attention in class. And they have a lot of interaction, and we have to take that into consideration when we make a decision about if online school is or benefits or not students more. Now about the affordable part, also traditional school is free. You don't have to pay actual money to go to school. And if a family has some financial problems, the school can give out extra money besides the money that the student receives every 1 or 2 months. Also now, I would like to talk about the non-discussion that I mentioned earlier about the bullying. This point came at the second speaker. So this whole argument, the bullying part, we will not be taking it into consideration. It came way too late, and Diana just explained it in her speech just to make it clear, to make some things clear. Now about their studies. Their studies cannot be taken into consideration because the focus of their studies is a small part of students, the ones that they said that have a smaller immune system or other type. And these problems can be easily fixed in traditional school. We don't need another system, an online system. And also, may I remind you that the topic we're playing on is online school benefits students, no, not benefits some students. And if we compare the impact on the traditional school and the impact on the online school, we see that even though traditional school has some bad parts, it can't compete with all the bad part, with the lack of interaction that is on the online school part. So in conclusion, I would like to say that we have proven again why traditional school is better than online school, and thank you.
All right. Now we're going to enter the grand crossfire. We're getting towards the end of the round. This will be the last crossfire. And in this 3-minute crossfire, all 4 debaters can ask each other questions. All right. So I'd ask that all the debaters unmute themselves. And
Okay.
whenever you're ready, you may ask a question.
Okay, so can I start?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so you agree that kids want to socialize because you said that kids will stay on Instagram instead of doing practical stuff, right?
Yes, but Instagram could
So
also
they
mean
want to socialize, right?
yes,
So why wouldn't they want to socialize in online school as well?
because they don't stay on Instagram just to socialize. Some of these some of them stay on Instagram to watch funny cat videos and crafts and so on, not to socialize.
Also,
social media is not only about socialization.
As I said it in my speech, the students will see other students just as boxes, not as people that they might actually want to talk to them.
Yeah, but what is your base? Do you have any actual studies that shows this? Because from what we have shown, kids from all around the places are actually learning in online school and getting to know each other. And you don't need to only talk with those kids via internet. You can meet them in person if you want. You just get to know each other in online school.
Yes, but all of us are taught about the danger of meeting random people from the internet. Also, how do you meet someone in real life when they live across the country or in another country?
Do they have to live in another
Show
country?
us how,
It's a possibility.
We are talking about school, not universities. Come on.
Okay, but
Let me ask a
how
question,
students
please.
are motivated to
Or
talk
would
to
like
each other
ask?
and actually meet each other. Also, I want
Would the team?
to ask something about the cheating. How can you be sure that the students will not cheat in online schooling? We still don't understand that. And please explain to us the method. Don't just tell me that you have some sites and some internet sites.
Okay,
Explain
so we have this study that we have shown. What they did was they took kids and compared their notes in online school and in a medium where there's no chance for them to cheat, and they have the same results. Therefore, they didn't cheat in online school.
Can you be sure that
Okay, I have a
students
question.
Their
in
verified
traditional
knowledge is the same.
do not cheat?
Okay, Diana asks.
I have a question. If you like studies so much, we've showed you a study that shows that 30% of kids are already bored due to lack of interactions with teachers in real school. How do you guarantee that they won't get bored and open a game or something else in the background when they won't actually see their teachers?
Well, we don't guarantee, but we have shown you that kids tend to retake classes because they see that they lack knowledge. So they are actually compensating this thing, and they understand that they need to retake some classes, and they do this. Whether on traditional school, the probability of a kid who has to repeat a year to finish their studies, it's actually lower. But here, there are kids who take for the second or third time the same courses.
Yeah, I guess the time is up.
All right. Engrossing crossfire. So, last but not least, we will have our final focus speech. So in the final focus speech, the two people who gave rebuttal are going to come and give us a 2-minute summarization and crystallization of the entire round. And so their job is to compare the arguments that have been presented by both sides, or specifically the important arguments, and to resolve any lingering disputes in the debate round. They should aim in just 2 minutes to make it very, very clear for me why I should vote for them. All right, so once again, you don't get any extra points for not using your prep time, so I highly suggest that you use all of your prep time if you need it.
Yes, I want 1 minute, what I've got left.
All right, I'm putting the timer. All right, that's all of your prep time.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm gonna start my speech now. We can always see clearly that we debated on 2 plans, education and social. We think that we won the education argument because we have presented studies, whether they didn't. We presented logic that stands because kids who wouldn't be as interested in school wouldn't retake the same courses that they take in online classes. Therefore, we showed by logic and evidence that we won this argument. So education in online school is actually as good as traditional school or not. And let me tell you something, they do not offer anything. If you vote for them, you just say that online school is not good. Whether if you vote for us, you actually consider the people that we help. Our first impact is improving education, and it does. So let's see the other. There's no system, and we agree with it. Online school has problems, and we agree with it. But if you weigh the problems of online schooling and the benefits of it, there are actually more benefits than bad parts. As we have shown you, online school is actually more affordable because not all traditional education is free. Most of the countries don't have education that is free. And other thing, they didn't attack the fact that we are actually helping those 12 million sick kids. They did not address this point at all, because if there was no online schooling, those kids will have the chance to save their education and their health. Yes, they are not the majority, but this doesn't mean that we cannot help them. And we are not making all kids to go to an online school. We are just saying that because online school exists, kids who take part in it by choice are helped by it. So this is our case, and we want you to vote for us because we offer quality education and actually save lives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, take it away, our final speech of the debate.
Okay, I'll set my timer and start in 3, 2, 1. For the last time in this debate, we want to make it clear that we debate on the average student or most students. So our impacts are still bigger than theirs. They help these small percentages, but we help the majority. So today's debate is not won by those who presented the most studies and numbers with from some random years or random samples, nor by those who listed more vague ideals with a nice ring to them, such as inclusivity and a more educated society. Today's debate is won by those who have proven that their medium will help the kids, will help most kids develop more, both academically and socially. And this has been completely overlooked by the Pro team, a realistic scenario. Firstly, since the main purpose of school is teaching kids various subjects, we'll start with that. And their entire argument about inclusivity and offering everyone a chance falls exactly because of this. All they offer is a chance, while we offer certainty. Why have free school if it won't even be real school? Nowhere did they explain why they're so sure that these kids, whether they're gifted or disadvantaged or just average, will actually learn anything. Why bother to study after all, when all the answers to your test or exam are just one search away? The same goes with classes where kids could just scroll to social media because even with the camera, it still looks kind of the same. So at the end of the day, we don't have a more educated society, but one with more people with diplomas that show off qualifications they don't actually have. We don't get inclusivity, but we harm everyone, including those we meant to help. Secondly, something their case barely touches is the social component. Not only are social skills important in almost all situations, but interaction is proven to prevent mental health issues. You really think kids will reach out to people whose faces they can't even see? Of course not. You think bullying is a big problem? Then wait till all kids are depressed due to lacking friends or studies with which you didn't interact at all, are depressed and have anxious. So in the end, we win this debate because not only did we have a more realistic approach of the issue, but because we have proven that with all its flaws, physical school is still better for most kids, forming them both intellectually and as human beings. Thank you, and please vote on.
All right. Perfect. So that concludes our round. Now I'm going to take a little bit of time to look at the round, because here's what I have to say. This is a close round. I don't yet have a verdict in my mind, so I'm going to have to take a look at my notes and think about it before I decide who won. Regardless of who won, you both did phenomenal, and I have to say this is truly a demonstrative match. Like, this is truly an example match. So great job, guys. And
Thank you.
just for the audience, I'd like to talk a little bit more about how I'm going to judge this round. So first of all, a little bit about the experience I have with public forum. I have experience both judging and I've also debated public forum in the US. In 9th grade, I was the semifinalist at the New York statewide competition. And in 10th grade, I was ranked the best speaker at the Ridge competition, which is a big tournament that goes across the entire coast of the US. So it's a multi-state tournament. And I've also been judging a lot. Oh, thank you. I've also been judging a lot at those tournaments and at other tournaments. So I'm going to, Even so, even though I've spent a lot of time judging, this is still a hard round for me to decide. So I'm going to take some time to think about it. And in terms of the criteria I'm going to use, this round is good because both teams told me what I should be looking at to judge. So I'm going to follow both teams' logic and then look at the team that has the bigger impact. In other words, the team who benefits society the most. There's one piece of evidence I'm going to call for, I'm going to ask for, because it might be important in my decision making. And that is the study that Monica, Mitache, and Emre, Abit, brought up about the cheating. So if you could you WhatsApp me the link to the study or chat it in the Zoom or something?
Okay. Let me just find it.
Cool, cool. Have you been able to find the study yet? Oh, there we go. All right. Monica, could you send me the URL? Oh, wait. I see. Never mind. All right. So I'm going to go through what I saw happening in the round and build up to the final decision. Is everyone ready? Cool. So let's start on the pro side. So the pro has two contentions. The first contention is about quality of education, is about the productivity, the nonlinear learning, and the time saved. And their second contention is about the accessibility, about the people who can actually get online education. Now, Khan makes a couple of points about these. So on the issue of productivity, their response to the nonlinear learning is the whole cheating debate, which I'm going to address separately. Then their response to the time is, first of all, that there won't be any learning, and second of all, that the increase in time is going to go to social media or video games and increase the stress. So to me, that response is very powerful because it actually takes something pro is saying and brings it over to the con side. However, the con says that in the rebuttal and then never mentions it again. So the time point is basically entirely dead, and I can't vote for anyone off of that. Then we go to access. So first, they talk about an increase in affordability, the pro being, and then the con says that that traditional schools are free. I imagine this is because American public schools and Romanian public schools are free. In the US, less so, but in Romania, since I know a lot of the most prestigious schools are public and are free, I think that it's okay to let that point stand. Then with the immunocompromised kind of goes clean through the debate. The con never really brings up anything to directly refute it, and instead they just try to say that it doesn't matter as much. Then we go to the con side. So the con side talks first about education, and they say that kids are going to be less interested and are going to cheat more. And this will, make them less educated. And then the second is about the social development. So on the issue of education, the pro brings up some really good points that since they're getting the same results, it doesn't matter how they seem, how the online school kids seem to be paying attention, because they're clearly paying attention. But then with results, this gets into the whole debate about cheating, which again, I'm going to address separately. Then with the second point, the pro says that since a lot of these courses have been taken in a nonlinear fashion and repeated, kids can focus selectively on only what they need to learn. And so that I think is a very interesting point. So, and then there's this debate about notes, organizing the notes, which kind of never gets talked about again. So that's off the table. With social development, there's this very interesting debate about bullying, where pro says that that online school helps avoid bullies, but then con brings up this interesting point about how the bully's actions can never really get remedied, and so they're just going to continue to bully and have those instincts until adulthood. then the pro brings some counter responses to that. So I think it's very hard for me to decide, but I think it's a wash, since none of it is particularly brought up in summary and final focus that much. So that point is off the table. However, the con part of social development that says more face-to-face interactions creates more endorphins and neurotransmitters, that point never gets responded to by the pro. And then lastly, we have the debate about cheating, which is an interesting one because con uses a lot of logic to prove their point, but pro has studies. Now, pro was kind enough to send me that study, and I took a look at the study, and it's a real study. It exists. It's fairly legitimate. You can make some criticisms on the study's methodology, but the study is in line with other studies of the same type. It's not particularly bad. So in this case, I'm a little bit inclined to favor the pro, just because the con was not able to marshal counter evidence. However, if the con had brought any counter example, even if their evidence was weaker than the pros, they would have won the point because of their logic. So that's a really close call for me. And then it pretty much comes down to the immunocompromised kids versus the social development. And this is a particularly tough point because while the con has a clear impact, the pro has a clear impact of 6 to 12 million kids are, at risk of dying, the con also has an impact of, mental health and neurodegenerative diseases for the whole population. Now, what I think is what tips the balance for me is con's weighing mechanism, because con tells me over and over again, look, you should vote not for small percentages of people, but you should vote for helping the entire population. And we show you that these person-to-person interactions are helping the entire population. And they are improving the mental health, which is something that's very important for the entire population. Whereas pro affects 6 to 12 million people, which is a lot, but is a small subset compared to like the global population of students. And it's a really tough choice for me to make, but because pro never responds to con's weighing, con tells me how to vote, whereas pro is less clear on that, I have to favor the con in this debate. But once again, I'd like to say that both sides did so well. Both sides did extremely well, and this decision it's killing me because it's so close. But yeah, absolutely, both sides did amazing. And for speaker points, I'm going to give all of you a 30 because you all spoke pretty much perfectly. All right. So are there any questions from any of the debaters or from the audience about the verdict? No questions? Does that make sense to everyone? Any general questions about public forum debate that you'd like to ask me? All right. So just note that should you be interested in public forum debate, you can always reach out to us at 2020rpfd@gmail.com. And so I'm going to put this in the chat. I hope that you enjoyed watching this round and that this round was an interesting experience. And before I stop the recording, I'd just like to invite if Professor Mindirigiu or any one of the debaters has something to say, you might say it.
Teddy, I want to thank you for your presence, for judging this match. You have already a great experience in judging and in debating. I think everything you explained is very clear. It's not very easy to understand, but with time, everyone will understand what counts and what is the most important thing in a debate. When you can win on one contention. This is very interesting, and you explained very well why you have to explain, to have logic, but also to give some evidence for that. So I want to thank you for being here. It means a lot for us, and it's a big step forward for our debate club.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Mindirigiu. And I'd also, honestly, I'm honored to be invited to be here. I mean, it's just such a great thing watching public forums spread into Romania. And I have to thank you, Professor Mindirigiu, for all of your hard work in coordinating this and in inspiring people to get involved with this great activity. And also the debaters for doing such a phenomenal job, guys. Okay.
Thank you so much for judging us and for being such a good inspiration also throughout summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I will now stop the recording.